founder of Save the Woman and also work as community advocates here in Tayside to support African, Asian, minority ethnic community. Having previously lived in Coventry, when I moved to Tayside to study, I was exposed to glaring of differences between the northern region and other parts of the country. At some point, I witnessed a lot of unconscious bias and it went against Africans. To me, I believe it is not good to belittle people. We are all created equally by God. And I hope people should be treated fairly. And when it comes to a situation whereby you are now exposed to discrimination, it saddens heart. And I believe unfair treatment, hypocrisy should be far away from any fair and transparent system. I've supported many constituents by providing advocacy support, most importantly to women, to parents, to families of children in care. And sometimes you feel helpless, you feel vulnerable yourself because the reaction, the way the authority involved, the way they deal with the matter, they make you feel as if you are not important. There was a situation whereby one of the letting agents, popular one here in Tayside, just closed down there. She threw her husband's picture at me, and she was even accused me of playing a race card. They make you feel helpless. However, these letting agents, they misrepresented these international students by violating and breaching the contracts of agreement until we came in and they had to refund the money back to the students. On this note, I would like to say very big thanks to Northeast Against Racism for giving us this platform to share our views, and I hope by working together we can create an oasis of hope for our people and for community entirely. Part of the work we are also doing is supporting agency workers to challenge discrimination at work, especially in the LHS Trust COVID-19 related settings. We realized through the cases we've been handling so far, they are experiencing differential exposures to COVID-19 ward settings, whereby if agency workers who are on 0-hour contracts, who has no option, they would rather push them to be on the ward where there's more danger compared to other communities, and this tends to increase the negative impact and disproportionate impact of African, Asian, minority ethnic as far as the pandemic is concerned. As the CEO of Save the Woman, an African-led organization, we are moved by the word of Shirley Chisholm, the first African elected woman to the Congress. She said, "You don't stand on the sideline complaining, whimpering. You make progress by implementing ideas." This led to our decision to form Tayside African and Caribbean Community Network. Through this group, we've been able to push forward the concerns of our people. Firstly, in terms of stop and search by the Cleveland Police, we see we are overrepresented in this area. African is 1.5% here in Middlesbrough, and we are more like 6 times likely to be stopped and searched. Also, we look into the issue of parents, of families of children in care. We are the second largest group of children in care, and we know the outcome of children passing through care is not something encouraging. According to the Middlesbrough IRO reports on children's services, it shows that it is 4 times more likely to take African child into care compared to white British, and 3 times more likely compared to other ethnic minorities. We believe there must be something wrong in this, and that links us to other research and other courses of work we are doing in looking into how our children are being cared for in local schools. There are a lot of concerns going on now. As you know, it is 18% of referral to social services coming from local schools. So they have been passing through the equality diversity training. However, what about unconscious bias training? How effective this being used? We started a campaign on justice for social services in Tayside. Not until we started this campaign, there's a child that the social services have not supported to even have access to the birth parents. But when we started this campaign, this distressed, vulnerable, and single African mother saw her daughter after 10 months of deprivation and prejudice attack from the social workers. And when these parents, they were expressing their concern, the social services tends to see them and tag them aggressive women. This is not acceptable. And we try as much as possible to bridge that gap. We launched a project called Building Bridges, Breaking Barriers in Tayside by promoting parental values to rebuild homes. After the campaign, we organized the first event, 26th of July. We call it Grassroots Discussion, Conversation on Social Services from grassroots perspective. We invited the local councillor, the local MP, the mayor. Their representatives were there, and we had open and honest discussion. Following this, we had group meeting with deputy mayor. We've had meeting with the executive member, safeguarding team from Cleveland Police. To date, no positive outcome. We had the second demonstration staged in front of the local MP's office and the McDonald MP. We hope people will come to support, to speak for our community, for these vulnerable families to get the right support at the right time. There's no any form of early intervention support or prevention plan. We attending this that we want your support from the across Northeast to come to our rescue by supporting a call for independent investigation. We want the local authorities, especially the Middlesbrough Council, to set up independent investigation team to investigate the whole process. Cases highlighted as we have submitted to the Executive Director of Children's Services. Our interest is for the local authority to break the barrier, bridge the gap, and also ensure that we work together as a community to make Middlesbrough proud and to make Tayside great. To rebuild relationship as trauma of separation incalculable, local authorities should explicitly plan for returning as many as possible children back to their families, the best place according to research evidence. We want the community to also work along with the local authority, and this is why we organized parenting skills course to promote parenting values, rebuild homes. Therefore, we are calling on the local authority to organize unconscious bias training, improve diversity and equality training for social services and local schools, because there are a lot of problems coming from the local schools. And when these issues are coming up, they tend to pretend and saying they are working according to the guidelines. But how fair are they dealing with these guidelines, so-called guidelines? How fairly are they treating people? And when cases are being referred to the local police, you could see we want the local police to tell us one African man in their sector, in their force. There's no representation. When decisions have been made, we we are not on the table. If we are not in, we can't get our voice to be heard. We want the resources to support, to encourage our youth, our young community, to promote, to bring that values in them, to encourage them to be part of the system as well. The impact of the way the local police, particularly Cleveland police, have handled some of the complaints, some of the allegations, has negatively affected our community, because there are a lot of disproportionate prosecution. And not only this has impacted on the living of our community members. This has been on record in their DBS, and it's everyday reason that we are hearing the news that no, this is hindering the tendency of securing a good job to earn an income. For instance, the Middlesbrough mayor mentioned the poverty is affecting everyone. It could affect everyone, however, there's something we call white privilege, which also makes things worse. That is why, since the death of George Floyd, Black Lives Matter have been a great national campaign. And on this note, we will really appreciate you to support this community to ensure justice done. It must not only be done, it must also be seen to have been done. We've submitted cases of children in care, the one we had, to the local authority, but no one is really willing to listen to us, to review those cases, to review the process and the procedures being taken. There are a lot of errors. A lot of children are in that care. They are not supposed to be there. If local authority release a little fund to support, to provide early support for the community, it will save them the cost as well. In order to increase the representation and also for voice to be heard, for us to be part of the decision making, Save the Woman, the Highlight and TSI Unite, we have launched online petition to diversify social services. On the 18th of July, we had official opening ceremony of Afrocentric Parenting Skill Course 101, organized by Save the Woman in partnership with Family Mediation Center. On the 22nd July 2020, we had meeting with Andy Preston, the mayor of Middlesbrough, and also with other community leaders, where we discuss on how he's going to facilitate a meeting with Sue Boja, the Executive Director of Children's Services, and Tony High, Deputy Mayor, and one of the local leaders to represent us on that decision. We want this independent investigation to take place because there are a lot of atrocity, there are a lot of injustice committed between the Cleveland Police, the local schools, and the Middlesbrough Council. Through this, we believe justice must be done. It must not only be done, but it must also be seen to have been done. 26th of July, there is a protest, Black Lives Matter, a peaceful protest at Middlesbrough, where we are saying off our necks. Enough is enough, because the case of George Floyd is also the case of everyone, every individual, every African member in this community. So, in the light of all what I've said so far, enough is enough. Off our necks. We are saying off our necks, enough is enough.